We all enjoy watching professional wrestling for the show, for the entertainment. However, sometimes, due to various reasons, things can escalate into a real fight. I'm Kevin Kellerman. Here are 10 cases when professional wrestling, the show of it, turned real. Number 10, Raja Jackson and Stuart Smith. The recent viral video incident where the son of UFC legend Quinton Rampage Jackson, Raja Jackson, brutally beat down on Psycho Stu in the middle of a pro wrestling ring, shocking the wrestling world and the combat sports world all at the same time. This happened on August 23rd, 2025 during an independent wrestling show marketed as Knox Experience, hosted by the then WWE ID affiliated Knox Pro Wrestling Academy, owned and started by WWE Hall of Famer Rikishi, who was not present for this event. During Drew's match, Raja stormed into the ring and attacked wrestler Stuart Smith, better known as Psycho Stu. The video went all over the place on social media and was streamed live on Raja Jackson's Kick account. It was supposed to be a planned thing, but Jackson turned it into a real fight, spurred on by accounts online saying that he looked weak in his interaction earlier in the stream with Psycho Stu, who had a miscommunication with him, thinking he was a pro wrestler when he wasn't, and hit him with a beer can on the head. And it didn't really faze Raja Jackson. The assault, though, on Psycho Stu was brutal. He suffered severe injuries and immediately went to the hospital. According to PWI Insider, WWE has reportedly severed ties with Knox Pro Wrestling following the incident between Jackson and Psycho Stu. As mentioned earlier, the promotion is run by Rikishi, and it's rare to see a company cut ties with anyone so deeply connected to WWE through the bloodline and Anawahi family. Number 9, Kurt Angle and Brock Lesnar. During his first run with WWE, Brock Lesnar had a ton of classic pro wrestling matches with Kurt Angle. The two later went on to become good friends in real life with a mutual connection in their amateur wrestling greatness before WWE. But that wasn't always the case. In fact, these two athletes actually fought each other for real. The fight reportedly took place at some point in 2003 during a practice bout before a show in North Dakota. In a 2017 episode of the Talk is Jericho podcast, the Olympic gold medalist Kurt Angle stated that he had heard Lesnar say at the time that Angle was too small and he would kill him in a real wrestling match. Of course, these two are decorated amateur freestyle wrestlers. The WWE Hall of Famer took offense to this and confronted Lesnar, which led to the showdown. Despite the size difference, Angle won the wrestling match, a legitimate one, after managing to take the Beast Incarnate off his feet. Oh, it's true. It's damn true. Number 8, Goldberg and Chris Jericho. In 2003, Goldberg signed with WWE. He got into a real-life confrontation, though, with Chris Jericho. The dispute between the two superstars stemmed from their time years before in WCW, where Goldberg reportedly denied a storyline program with Jericho. In his book, Undisputed, Jericho recounted the fight in great detail. Jericho stated that following Goldberg's debut on WWE Raw, the latter started bad-mouthing Y2J. When Jericho confronted Bill Goldberg in the locker room, things escalated quickly. The two ended up throwing hands. Surprisingly, the Ayatollah of Rock and Rolla may have won the brawl, securing a front face lock on Goldberg. Fortunately, both men agreed to settle their differences on the spot before further damage could happen. Years later, in 2022, Goldberg even admitted on Jericho's podcast that the former AEW World Champion got the best of him in their short tussle. Number 7, Kofi Kingston and Vince McMahon. Although former WWE Chairman Vince McMahon was never a full-time performer, he was quite physical in his role when he wanted to be. The former WWE Champion often stepped into the ring to fight whenever he felt it was necessary. However, he has been involved in some real fights, including one with Kofi Kingston. The accident happened in, of all places, inside McMahon's private jet. Chris Jericho recounted the story in his book, The Best in the World. According to Jericho, it occurred a few days before WrestleMania 26 when Vince boarded his plane with several WWE talents, including Kingston and Jericho, heading to a press conference. Just after landing, Vince mocked Kofi by saying, "Maybe you'll get over one of these days." After Y2J told Kingston to stand up for himself, the former WWE Champion confronted McMahon, his boss. Following a heated exchange, McMahon took Kingston down onto the plane floor and they rolled around in the aisle. They eventually got up laughing. Jericho noted that Kofi earned Vince's respect in that short situation. Number 6, Batista and Booker T. Yes, they were both successful former WWE superstars, but during the mid-2000s, both men were at the top of their game on the SmackDown brand. But in 2006, a legitimate argument between the two led to a real, unscripted fight. The fight took place on the set of a commercial shoot for the 2006 SummerSlam Premium Live event. Most reports stated that the 6-time world champion got the better of Batista during their fight. However, in 2012, kayfabe commentaries, Fit Finlay contradicted this by saying that it was Booker who was left with a swollen eye and didn't want to finish the fisticuffs. Well, whoever it was that got the best of the other, it doesn't really matter because the current NXT commentator stated in an interview with Hannibal TV in 2018 that he and Batista buried the hatchet a long time ago. Number 5, Eve Torres and Matt Hardy. Yes, Eve Torres beat Matt Hardy in a non-professional, real-life fight during a WWE European tour when a playful fight turned into a real confrontation, with Torres putting Hardy in a rear naked choke, rendering him unconscious, depending on who you talk to. This happened early in her career when Eve was still a backstage interviewer and was learning the ropes to becoming a professional wrestler. She went out to a bar with Matt Hardy and other talents, and the two found themselves fighting each other out of nowhere. In an interview with the MMA Hour in 2014, the former Divas champion said that after she got a black eye, it made her react with boiling rage, and she applied a chokehold on Matt to make him pass out. Number 4, ravishing Rick Rude and the Ultimate Warrior. The WWE marketed the Ultimate Warrior as a prominent, muscle-bound babyface and aimed to elevate him to Hulk Hogan's stardom level. However, his attitude, both inside and outside of the ring, has been disputed and may have annoyed some of his colleagues, depending on who you talk to over the years. A few superstars wanted him to be less stiff in the ring, but he always kind of shrugged it off. The approach didn't sit well, though, with wrestling veteran Rick Rude. In his podcast, The Nature Boy Ric Flair recounted an incident where Warrior dismissed Rude as unfit to be the WWE Intercontinental Champion. The two had a backstage confrontation, and Rude physically assaulted Warrior. Flair also mentioned that he had heard Rude had approached Warrior to advise him to loosen up and stop being so stiff. Warrior didn't take the advice well, resulting in Rude knocking him out cold. Number 3, The Big Show and Great Khali. Yes, these two towering giants, real-life giants, got into a real unplanned fight backstage in Puerto Rico after the Great Khali used Big Show's signature corner chop move, leading to a massive confrontation, both literally and physically. Big Show threw the first punch. The fight concluded with Big Show tripped and Khali fell on top of him. Chris Jericho, a witness, recounted the event later on in his Best in the World autobiography and stated that Khali may have won the brief confrontation, a claim that Big Show later admitted to. Not only that, Khali even claimed in a 2024 interview that he supposedly made the world's largest athlete shed tears after Khali got the better of him, but that's to be disputed. Number 2, Sheamus and Yoshi Tatsu. Earlier in his career, Sheamus shared a place with former WWE superstar Ted DiBiase Jr. At the time, Japanese wrestler Yoshi Tatsu had just joined WWE, and the two tried to help him out, offering him a place to stay as he got acclimated. But he did not pay rent or bills, and it went on for a few weeks and things got heated. The Celtic Warrior confronted Tatsu, who didn't take the comments lightly. A fight broke out between the two men, and they slapped each other before things calmed down. Years later, in 2020, in an interview with Corey Graves on his After the Bell podcast, Sheamus said that he and Yoshi Tatsu exchanged a few strikes, and that was that. However, some accounts claim that Yoshi got the upper hand in the confrontation and nearly made the Irish Warrior shed a tear. Sheamus stated that the issue was completely blown out of proportion. Number 1, CM Punk and the Elite. The wrestling world was shocked by the backstage reports that CM Punk and his longtime wrestling friend and backstage All Elite Wrestling producer Ace Steel got into a legitimate violent brawl. AEW Executive Vice Presidents Kenny Omega and Matt and Nick Jackson, the Young Bucks, in a locker room after the 2022 All Out Media Scrum, where Punk called them out for various things that he deemed unprofessional and said, if you have a problem, come and find me. Well, they came and they found him. Was really driven all up by what Punk said, and several reports stated that the Elite confronted Punk in his locker room following this. WWE Hall of Famer Kevin Nash even gave an account of the incident secondhand on his Click This podcast in 2022, saying that one guy, Ace Steel, bit Kenny Omega. It was an effing fight. A chair got thrown, and Punk fired the first round, punched one of the Bucks in the back. As a result, Tony Khan suspended everyone and stripped them of their championships. In 2023, Punk returned, but sadly, again, got involved in another legitimate backstage fight with Jeff Hardy at the 2023 All-In Stadium event. However, this time, Punk was terminated from his contract, which allowed him to return to WWE just a few months later.